I'm very emotive. I'm very emotional. I'm very sensitive. I make my own rules. I create my own games. And I choose the people I want to play with. And that's why I said I found my playground being an artist. My name is Marisa. I'm a full-time painter. Since 2009, I have had many group exhibitions as well as solo shows. To date, I have done 4 solo exhibitions. Development of Malaysian art scene is very progressive. Well, I wouldn't say very progressive. It is, we are on the way. We are not as progressive as other developed countries, but I think Southeast Asian artists are very, very, very extremely talented. We'll get there when we will have more museums, do more exhibitions, do more talks about art, conduct more classes. We'll get there one day.
Okay, start pada padam dulu lah. Nanti jap.
In 2017, I met with Marisa, with her artwork first, if I'm not mistaken, in Publica. I think this is during that time. This is a good time to promote women artists in this campus because not so many women artists active like Marisa.
In our school days, we are not taught about the history and appreciation of art. So naturally, people don't gravitate towards that subject. Monsoon series was a very, very long time ago. I think sometime in 2009 or 10, I think. That's my first exhibition. That was my first series of paintings, and that series of painting was about the monsoons in Terengganu, in Pulau Kapas, east coast of Malaysia. And as you know, monsoon, it's about heavy rains, heavy downpour, and I was at the beach by that time. Sometimes I feel like my emotions are like the waves in the monsoon. Strong and very powerful and intense. And I could feel the sound of the wave. I could feel how powerful the waves are, things that we cannot control in our lives, but yet we have to go through it. So I've decided to capture those moments, those feelings through my paintings. I'm sure everybody has experienced monsoons in their life. How bad is the monsoon, or how strong, or how terrible, or how long is the monsoon depends very much on our own personal experiences, right? Personal perspective or emotions about my life at that moment. Why I'm not happy, why I'm like this, why am I like that, why is my marriage not working, why am I unhappy, why am I emotional, why? It's a lot of questions. I've decided to go to this island called Pulau Kapas in Terengganu. And then I spent some time alone and I did some sketches and drawings. My inspiration comes from my experiences. Experiences of me being on the island, being on the beach, seeing the vast ocean, the rocks that I see on the beach, sometimes the seaweed I see on the beach, the patterns on the rock can also inspire me. And then the people that I meet. The feeling that I have with the people around me. Whatever I'm feeling at that moment with the people I'm around, yeah. Met my old friends again and they said, hey, you can actually draw pretty well. So have you ever considered doing this as your career? I said, no, never. So then I just continued to paint and draw. And after giving it a serious thought, I said, I think I want to pursue this art as my career. Because being an artist, I have the time to myself, time and freedom that I want, so that I'm able to spend time with my grandma and also to raise my son up.
Very nice lah. Orang tangkap tak? Come.
When she paints, mostly I just walk around, see what else I can do. Like, if I have my football, I can play. She's more of an outgoing person. She's quite outspoken. She's fun. She doesn't just think of one way to do things. She thinks of multiple ways and choose the best option on what she's gonna do. She decided not to follow the usual way of just painting. She's a bit creative with that, so she chose to do smaller pieces combined together for one big piece.
Maybe my family was not so encouraging in the beginning because they said that, you know, being an artist is not going to put food on the table. And you need to first put food on the table before you can actually draw something or you can actually pursue it as a hobby. They would rather me pursue this as a hobby rather than my career because it's not stable to be an artist, right? Yeah, it takes a lot of time, a lot of time basically to get where you want to be. But then they see that I'm very serious in what I do and I'm very determined in what I do. Now they're very supportive. And here I am today. The Naked Truth series. That is a very interesting series. Exploring about the male ego, how most of the time a lot of strong men that you see, I feel, or the people that I have met has a lot of ego in them, me including. You know, we have so much of layers that we have, and it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, a lot of effort to want to peel those layers and really see what is the truth inside us, to find the truth in us. Usually, you can see that those paintings are mostly men. And you can see those men are usually with very strong muscular backs. There's a lot of weight we carry, not just our back, but it's just like it's a, what's the word they use? A metaphor for strength, to want to delve deeper, to deal with all the burden, to deal with all the pain that's eating us inside. But we need to have a lot of, courage to delve very deep in us and find out what's hurting us inside. So being naked is also being vulnerable, and being vulnerable is a feeling that not everybody wants to feel.
Marisa generally is my client. She want to set up her gallery home. So she came to me, she saw my work, she liked my works. And then from there I'm also happy that to have client. Then I saw her works and start to delve into it. Then I see that actually it's very interesting, and surprisingly what we're trying to do, what I'm telling Marisa is, I'm going to interpret your art and make it your beauty. What I like about her painting is she don't really draw one figure only, she like to overlay in the layering. And this layering of the different figure, right, it show the movement, at the same time it show the front and the back, a layer of the painting, so it become alive, you know. There's a certain abstract into this painting. Yeah.
As an artist, we are encouraged to explore as many styles as we would like or can. And I started painting then, learning figurative art. And from figurative art, I've decided to slowly evolve into pure abstractionism. I kind of like the freedom of not having to draw anything that is representational art. I think that to me is more interesting and more challenging actually. These are some of my new or early works when I started to paint, when I started to learn about figure drawing. These are some of my sketches. We train to do our figure drawing, like quick sketches, like 90 seconds, 50 seconds, and this one was done in 2011. 90 seconds, quick sketches, using, if I'm not mistaken at that time, some twigs and some Chinese ink. Yeah, and then what my teacher would do is he will rate my sketches, like 7 out of 10, or these are also 90-second sketches. 5th of August 2011, yeah. I've done 50 sketches in this material, in this medium. So when I was taught during this time, right, it's all about the quality of your lines, proportion. When you learn about figures, it's about proportion, about your quality of lines, where your weight is when you're sitting down, so the line will be a bit thicker to show that the weight of the person. Sometimes the shadow, movement. We can talk a lot about lines. Just on lines alone, we can discuss it for so many days. You know, see example like this. Abstract painting is very technical. It's a lot. You need to know the grammar of painting, how to. You need to understand your fundamentals of art very strong before you can actually produce an abstract painting. So, in terms of abstraction, I think that is a very. We use a lot of line, color, forms to convey the mood or to convey our messages. I wouldn't stick to one. As you can see from my studio, I would use brooms, I would use the pouring method, I would use brushes, not just paint brushes, but also sometimes toothbrush, sponge, anything that I can find. I prepare my area, like, you know, I just organize my workspace, make sure my water is there, my tools are around me, and I have a chair, the fan is on, and I'm ready to go. Signature. I'm very rough in my work. Yeah, I cannot, or I don't enjoy drawing very fine and careful, small, neat paintings. I'm very messy and very rough with my hands, and that's why, even in my abstract, even in my figurative works, you can see my lines are very bold and they're not fine lines, they're not very neat. Yeah, so I'm kind of rough that way. It's like playing a musical instrument. You must know how to handle your instrument before you can play a tune. Abstract is not just about splashing paint. There's also a lot of control involved in producing an abstract piece. You must know, okay, this part is too much, this part you need to rest a bit, you need to have more depth. So your eyes have to be sensitive in also producing a good artwork.
The other abstract artists, they have a certain style and approach which is quite similar to other artists already, you know, in the mainstream art scene. But in the case of Marisa, she's very spontaneous. I think she kind of like totally throw the rules, as I mentioned, out of the window. She doesn't use a brush. She uses a stick. She uses her hands and all that. But she has very specific reasons why she chose to you know, put paint in this area and leave the rest empty and all that, and it's without a filter. So she's really expressing what she believes, and I think that's what I appreciate about her work.
I don't think it's good for me to compare my work with a lot of artists, because there will be no end to comparisons, right? I'm not the only artist. My artwork is not the best artwork in the world. So For me to differentiate myself is to just be as real as possible, to be as authentic, to be as honest as I am in producing my work. I don't want to pretend to be someone else. I don't want to pretend to follow another person's style. So it has to be as authentic as me. When I'm doing abstract, it's very spontaneous. I want to capture that spontaneous moment. That, to me, is how I differentiate myself. The Ong series explores my relationship with my grandmother, whom I love very, very much, who's looked after me since I was a baby. When I found out that she had cancer and that she doesn't have very much time, I wanted to capture that moment with her. All the good memories that I have with her. And that to me was the message I wanted my viewers to see, or people who come and look at my painting, is to remember the good times that you have with the people you love. My grandma, she used to take me to Kuala Lipis. We used to go on very small boats into the jungle, to the durian farm that belongs to the family. She teach me everything. She teach me about food. I learned the secret recipe from her. Okay, good. Okay, one more? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Good spy. Okay, clever. Yeah, come. Because of her, I'm where I am today. You know, if you see any kindness in me, it's because of her. She is such a beautiful soul. Yeah, she's very giving and a very loving person. That's why she was the inspiration behind my third solo exhibition, which was held at the National Art Gallery. That's the Ong series. Ooh, hot coffee. Hot. Coffee, yeah? Soup. That's good. Nice not? Coffee, yeah? Come on.
Yeah.
Ini kalau lim cipuannya.
Tadi.
Soup.
Ada.
Aku tampuk lah.
Caw.
You guess why? Okay. We found out that she had colon cancer in 2015. We didn't know how much time she has left. And so instead of feeling sad and depressed, I wanted to celebrate her life. And I wanted to remain, and I wanted to hold on to the good memories that I have with her. Now, very nice, huh? Kopi peng. Nice, very nice. Masuk lah. Sedap kan? Why? Why lim siu eh? Dia siling eh? Come. Plus 3 soup. You know, memories like when I had chicken pox, she would come and chase me around the house just to make me drink a coconut drink. Or whenever I'm sad, she would come and comfort me by either cooking my favorite food, or she would comfort me by saying, hey, you know, don't be sad. Maybe tomorrow we go to the jewelry store. I don't know why, but maybe that's how people in her generation show their love. So when I was painting the Ong series, the process was very enjoyable and very happy, and it was a beautiful process for me. We had a really enjoyable Chinese New Year. We celebrated Chinese New Year in Penang this year. And she was so happy, and she was very childlike. She was joking around. We laugh a lot. We make fun of her. So much of attention given to her. So she really had a good time, and we also enjoyed her company very much. And then after Chinese New Year, she became very quiet suddenly. She became so sad. She became, I don't know, sad or what. But I don't know. I don't think she's sad, but she suddenly lost the desire to want to think, or the interest to want to think what's going on with her surroundings or the people around her. She just lost interest. So we were kind of worried, and then we took her to the hospital yesterday, and the doctor said that she might be depressed because she's lost interest in life.
Huh? Water. Vậy đấy, cái rồi
Do it your account.
mà thôi chứ, phải bảo không chừng à.
Yeah. And so yesterday we gave her some medication, and today she came alive again. Oh, yo, ma, welcome back. I tell you, you know, the ama is like she's like in when she was in Penang, she's so awake and chatty and happy and talkative. Like she just woke up. I just gave her the medicine yesterday, right? Yeah, she's totally back to herself. She's like saying, because there's a camera crew here. She's like, wow, all the camera crew here so pretty. Who are all these girls? Or where they're from? She's like that. Huh? And she asked for coffee twice today, and she even called for me. You wanna know where? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Junrui.
Wow, very good. How old are you?
100
100 years old? Wow, very good ah. Banyak kuat lah.
Tapi kau
Pecap kau hoi.
89.
89, very good. Mr. Bean or Jackie Chan? Yeah, she likes that. It makes her laugh. She's taught me a lot about things in life. How to be kind, how to be forgiving, how to be respectful to others. She to me is an angel to me. I'm very emotive. I'm very emotional. I'm very sensitive. I make my own rules. I create my own games. And I choose the people I want to play with. And that's why I said I found my playground being an artist. Life quote would be to be kind to the people around you, to love as many, to love yourself, to love the people around you, and be as authentic as you can in life.